sidestep another question about committing to a peaceful transfer of power. Does it worry you about what Election Day in just 3 weeks from tonight could look like?
Well, Caitlin, it makes me wonder why anyone, no matter what your political views may be, you're conservative, you're moderate, you're progressive, we cannot support somebody who is working overtime to undermine American democracy, who fomented an insurrection. I was there. And trust me, it was a violent insurrection. People were hurt. People were killed. So to my mind, before we even talk about the issues of healthcare or the economy or education, I would think that it should be hard for anybody to support a candidate who is not willing to accept free and fair elections. That is not what America is supposed to be about. And I would also add, there is a reason why his own Vice President, Mike Pence, who sat by his side for 4 years, is not supporting him. Why Dick Cheney, the most maybe conservative Vice President in the modern history of this country, is not supporting him. Why Mitt Romney, a sitting U.S. Senator, Republican, is not supporting him. And they understand that because of his lack of support for democracy, because of the fact that he's a pathological liar, this is a guy who is not fit to be president of the United States.
I mean, it does say something when Bernie Sanders and Liz Cheney are not only voting, but also campaigning for the same person for president. Her reason, obviously, is because of what happened on January 6th that she says has driven her to do something she never thought she'd do, which is vote for a Democrat here. I mean, but Senator, you've been out on the campaign trail. You've been in a bunch of states. What is your answer I mean, it's a nail biter. It's a very close election. There's a lot of people who are still willing to support Donald Trump.
Well, absolutely, there are. And it's going to be a very, very close election. And I applaud the vice president for raising and fighting for some very important issues for working people. And I think she has got to intensify that, bring more issues to the forefront to make it clear that she is standing with the working class and the working families of this country and is prepared, in fact, to take on corporate greed and the massive level of income and wealth inequality that we have right now. Now, I go all over the country. I can tell you in my own state of Vermont and wherever I go, people are talking about the housing crisis. And it's not only 600,000 people who are homeless, it's that people are paying 40, 50, 60% of their limited incomes for housing. Kamala is talking about building 3 million units of affordable and lower income housing desperately needed. And I will also tell you, I talk to working parents. It is expensive today to bring up a kid. And when she's talking about expanding and making permanent the child tax credit, man, that's going to make life easier for a whole lot of working families in this country. And I was especially pleased that last week, because this is something I've been working on for a long time, she is now talking and will implement an expansion of Medicare to cover home health care. Caitlin, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who have elderly people in their homes or disabled people in their homes who want to stay in their homes. They don't want to go to a nursing home, but they can't afford the help that they need to take care of that individual. So expanding Medicare to include home health care is a huge step forward. And she is also, in that plan, talking about making hearing aids and eyeglasses a part of Medicare. That's a big deal as well.
Yeah, and I know, previously you wanted that. You also wanted dental. But just to follow up on what you were just getting at, because your argument was saying, before we get to the issues, and I want to talk about the issues, but this line of one candidate not saying that, yes, I'll commit to a peaceful transfer of power. Harris tonight agreeing with the host when Charlemagne said that Trump's agenda, he believes, is just about fascism. I mean, when you're out talking to these voters, is that a more effective line for her to be pushing and highlighting to voters? Or is it what you're just talking about there, people who are taking care of their elderly parents or who can't afford child care? Or is it both?
I think you got to go. I think you got to go in both directions. I mean, I think you have to appeal to a number of moderates, some Republicans who say, you know what, I don't agree with Kamala Harris, don't like her views on the issue. But you know what, I do believe in democracy. My husband was a veteran. He fought to preserve American democracy, and we can't elect somebody who doesn't believe in the basic tenets of American democracy. So that is a strong point. And I think, the fact that he lies all the time, Caitlin, all over this country, there are people trying to raise their kids to tell the truth, to not be a bully. And to have somebody as president of the United States who lies all of the time, that is so bad on so many levels. And I think a lot of conservatives understand that. I mean, that is, again, the reason why people, like Mike Pence and Mitt Romney are not supporting Donald Trump. But I think at the same time, when you have 60% of our people living paycheck to paycheck, more income and wealth inequality today than we've ever had before, with the rich becoming much richer while working families are struggling. You got to talk about economic issues. And I would hope that in the next 3 weeks, she will intensify how discussion about the needs of working class people by expanding Social Security, for example. Very important. We could do that by lifting the cap on taxable income, by raising the minimum wage to a living wage. There are millions of people in this country working for $9, $10, $11 an hour. Got to raise that minimum wage to a living wage. I think it's good policy, and I think that is good politics. I hope she'll move aggressively in those areas.